Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The actor who plays Paul Foreman on Coronation Street, Peter Ash, has unveiled a significant new plot for his character, who will be given a motor neuron disease, MND, diagnosis the following month. Paul has been having hand issues since he was in a car accident on the cobblestones. But Paul would learn in later scenes that it's unlikely that the accident is connected to his current difficulties. Early in April, a doctor informs Paul that he almost certainly has MND. Later on in the month, the diagnosis is ultimately confirmed. The next scenes examine Paul's reaction to learning that he has the fatal illness. He waits before telling his partner Billy, mother Bernie, or twin sister Gemma. He first confides in his flatmate Dee Bailey. The MND Association and Coronation Street are collaborating closely on the lengthy storyline. Corey executives have declared that Paul would pass away in the course of the plot because there is currently no cure for MND. Peter just spoke with Digital Spy and other media outlets for the first time about the compelling plot. Paul's desire to return to work and start earning money again is what matters right now. He may not be aware that it will be anything so dangerous, in my opinion. Paul believes that the collision he experienced on the street is to blame for the pinched nerve or slight weakness in his hand. Yet it turns out that has nothing to do with the issues in Paul's hand. Paul is unaware of MND when he is informed that they will be testing for it. He needs to make a few inquiries. Paul is exhibiting symptoms that could be MND, according to the expert. Paul just goes into shock after that. Paul does not have a favorable opinion of it at all. Even though he hasn't been told for sure yet, he believes he has it. Paul believes this to be the case since it makes sense in light of the symptoms he is having. When everything finally clicks, his entire world is turned upside down. Paul's desire to wait until he is certain before telling anyone is understandable. But he's also been stressing out a lot lately over his financial issues. Paul will soon attend his sister's wedding, which will be a very stressful occasion. Paul believes that everyone currently has too much going on in their lives for him to dump it on them. It must feel so lonely for him to bottle it up and hold it inside. Late last year, I was summoned to the producer's office. It surprised me. It must always be a little unsettling to be summoned to the producer's office. Ian McLeod, the producer of Coronation Street, informed me that although they had a significant plot line for me, it would ultimately spell my departure from the show. I naturally felt conflicted. I'll be sorry to leave the show since it's been an incredible work and I've met some wonderful individuals. I'm also excited to be a part of such a compelling plot that, I hope, will raise awareness about MND. Paul's condition is also going to progress fairly rapidly. Hardly any. I was aware of Stephen Hawking and recognized the condition's name from the Ice Bucket Challenge a few years ago. Of course, it was ASL because that is the term used in the United States to describe the condition. I didn't know anything, so I knew I'd have to read up on it and do some research as soon as the tale was pitched. A man with MND named Mike Small was put in touch with us. He and I had a pretty fascinating conversation. There are some similarities to Paul because Mike was also a laborer, but his tale is quite distinct. Although we may have borrowed a few details from other people's tales, this is Paul's tale. We have received the information we need from the MND Association, which has been a wonderful help. I'll check in with them if there is a new script or symptom to ensure that it is depicted accurately. Everyone at Corey has been really helpful and supportive, especially the plot and research teams. I also read the book by former rugby league player Rob Burrow. I'm not at all into sports, so I didn't learn about him through rugby or anything, but after reading about this, I'm now obviously interested in his tale. I've read his book and watched his video. Massively. There is a lot of pressure to portray a character accurately and to avoid making the condition seem trivial when they have a disease or condition. We want to portray it accurately. People who live with it are watching us as we play it out. It's critical to portray it delicately, accurately, and with care. I didn't, but we didn't talk about it until shortly after I was told the tale and we had gone out for drinks. I don't know if you realize what's going to happen to Paul, I said to Dan. He already knew since he had received a call from Verity McLeod, Coronation Street's assistant producer. I had never before been made aware of Dan's grandfather's suffering. He gave me a lot of information, which was also useful. I've been eased into it thus far because it just begins with Paul's hand. I'm well aware that it will become much more technical as time goes on and the symptoms worsen. If the symptoms worsen, I'm sure I'll be talking to the MND Association a lot more to make sure everything is done correctly. The path we're taking is pretty long. I only hope that it raises awareness so that everyone may understand what those who must deal with this on a regular basis go through. Given how severely illness impacts their lives and how difficult it is, it also concerns the person's loved ones. I wish more people could comprehend the condition. In one instance, Paul is seen trying to pick up a glass in the pub, and George accuses him of being intoxicated. We're demonstrating tiny issues like that, which patients with MND undoubtedly experience. Definitely. When Paul speaks to DD, the only person in whom he confides, there are moments that explore that. She has a lot to cope with when Paul starts unloading, bless her. Paul is afraid that if people find out, they will treat him differently and they would feel sorry for him, and he doesn't want that. It makes sense, and it's clear that he doesn't want to concern anyone. We're continuing shooting the scenes where DD is the only one who is aware at this time. Although I haven't read all the way through, I believe the next chapter will be when Billy finds out. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe our channel Street Gossip for more update news.